The ship moved slowly through space. It was old. It was quiet. It didn't have weapons. Inside there were families, men, women, children. Some were laughing, some were reading, and some were just sleeping. The ship was called Hope Runner. It was a civilian transport ship. Its job was simple: take people from one colony to another. No soldiers, no fighters. Just people. A young girl looked out of the wide window and whispered, "Space is beautiful." Her mother smiled. "Yes, sweetie, it's peaceful out here." But peace never lasts. Without warning, the lights flickered. A deep alarm rang. Red lights blinked on the walls. People looked around, confused. "What's going on?" Someone asked. The captain's voice came over the speaker. His voice was calm but shaky. "We have incoming ships. Please remain calm. We are trying to contact them." The ship's pilot, Captain Harris, stared at the screen in front of him. 5 alien warships had appeared on radar, fast, powerful, and moving straight toward Hope Runner. "They're not answering our signals," Harris said. Beside him, his first officer frowned. "Why would they target us? We're unarmed." Harris didn't answer. Deep inside, he knew something was wrong. Very wrong. The alien ships moved into attack formation. "This doesn't make sense," Harris whispered. "We're civilians. We're clearly marked." He tapped the emergency code to Earth. It was a simple message: "Civilian ship under attack. Nitrogen monoxide defense. Need help." But space was huge. Earth was far. And time was short. One of the alien ships lit up. A blinding flash appeared from its cannon. In 1 second, a missile exploded near Hope Runner's rear engine. The ship shook violently. People screamed. Smoke filled the hallways. The girl who was watching space fell from her seat. Her mother grabbed her, holding tight. "It's okay," she said, trying to stay calm. "We'll be okay." But even she didn't believe her own words. In the command room, Harris was losing control. "We've lost engine 2. Life support is dropping." Someone yelled. The second missile hit. This one tore through the cargo bay. Fire burst out, pushing bodies into space. The ship tilted hard. Alarms kept screaming. "They're going to destroy us," the officer said. "Why?" Harris shouted. "We didn't do anything." One alien ship sent a short message in a cold, robotic voice. "No survivors." Harris's eyes widened. "They're erasing us like we're nothing." On Earth, deep under the surface, in a place not shown on any map, someone was watching. The signal from Hope Runner had reached command. Core 9. The man in the black room stood still. His name was Commander Rhodes. His face was hard, his eyes sharp. Around him were screens showing maps, ship paths, energy signals, everything in real time. "Pull up the video feed," he said. One screen showed Hope Runner, shaking, damaged, smoke leaking from its sides. Civilians trapped. Children crying. Another screen showed the alien warships, clean, strong, untouched. "Targeting civilians," Rhodes said coldly. "Not a mistake. This is murder." The room was quiet. Soldiers looked to Rhodes, waiting for orders. Rhodes didn't shout. He didn't curse. He simply raised one hand and said, "Code Black Echo. Confirm location of Silent Fang." A young tech officer checked quickly. "Silent Fang is active, in orbit, ready in 60 seconds. Rhodes turned his head slightly. "Then let's make an example." Back in space, Hope Runner drifted helplessly. A third alien warship locked on. Captain Harris whispered to himself, "This is the end." But just before the alien ship could fire, it exploded. No sound, no warning. Just a flash, and then nothing. Everyone on Hope Runner paused. Even the screams stopped. "What was that?" the first officer asked. The second alien ship tried to move. It too disappeared. One blink and it was gone. On board the remaining alien ship, panic spread. "Unknown attack," one shouted. We are being destroyed from outside our sensors. They're using cloaked weapons. Another screamed, "Evacuate!" But there was nowhere to run. One by one, the ships began to vanish. Perfectly clean hits, no survivors, no debris. Back on Earth, Rhodes watched with cold eyes. "Precision confirmed," a voice said. "Zero civilian damage. Enemy neutralized," Rhodes nodded. "Message received, I assume?" "Yes, sir. We tagged their homeworld with the strike data. They now know what touched them." Rhodes turned to leave. "Good. They thought Earth was silent because we were weak. Let this be their first lesson." On the ship Hope Runner, Captain Harris looked at the stars. No enemy ships remained. No rescue ships had arrived. He didn't know what saved them. But somewhere, far above, hidden in the black of space, something was watching. And it had perfect aim. Inside the ship, the little girl looked back out of the window. The stars were calm again. She pointed and smiled. "I think something is protecting us." Her mother hugged her close. "I hope you're right." Beneath the surface of Earth, far below cities and oceans, sat a room no one knew about. The room was large, dark, and quiet. Cold blue lights lit the metal walls. Screens covered every inch. On those screens were live images of the galaxy. Every ship, every signal, every movement in space. In the center of the room stood Commander Rhodes. Tall, calm, and sharp-eyed. He didn't blink often. He didn't need to. Machines blinked for him. "Status report," he said without turning his head. A voice from behind answered quickly. "We tracked the enemy fleet's energy pattern. All targets eliminated. Civilians on Hope Runner are alive." Rhodes nodded slowly. "Good." Another officer spoke. She was younger, nervous. "Sir, alien chatter is increasing. They're trying to figure out what hit them. No one saw us. No one knows." "Keep it that way," Rhodes replied. "Earth doesn't shout. Earth watches." Everyone in the room went silent. Outside, on the surface, life was normal. Kids went to school. People drove cars. No one knew that somewhere under their feet, Earth was watching everything and remembering. A man entered the command center through a heavy door. He was older, wore a white coat, and had clear glasses. His name was Dr. Ethan Voss, creator of the Observation Corps. "I heard the test worked," he said. Rhodes didn't look at him. "It wasn't a test. Innocent people almost died." Voss nodded slowly. "Yes, but it was our first real activation of Silent Fang. That level of precision, it proves the math is perfect." Rhodes turned to face him. "You built a weapon. That doesn't miss. Not ships, not engines. It hits the pilot's chair. That's not war. That's God-level targeting." "And that's why we built it," Voss replied. "Because one day, someone would try to erase us." Rhodes looked at a screen showing the star map. That day is today. Above the Earth, in low orbit, a tiny satellite adjusted its lens. Its name was Silent Fang 1. It was no bigger than a small car, but inside was technology that didn't exist in any public record. It could see a spaceship from 1,000,000 kilometers away. It could predict its next move before the pilot even touched the controls. And most dangerous of all, it could strike with zero sound, zero trace, and zero chance of escape. Inside Command Core 9, the room grew darker. A red light began to flash. "Alert," a voice said. "New movement detected. 2 alien fleets mobilizing near the border. Signal confirmed. Same species who attacked Hope Runner." "They're not running," one officer said. "They're sending more ships," Rhodes sighed. "Of course they are. They think we're bluffing. They think we got lucky." "Should we prepare another strike?" asked the tech officer. "No," Rhodes said. "Not yet. I want to see who's behind this." He walked to the center of the room and tapped a console. A 3D image of the alien fleet appeared, dozens Of ships, big and armed, moving in tight formation. They're not acting alone, Rhodes whispered. This is too clean. Dr. Vos stepped forward. You think it's a setup? I think, Rhodes said. They wanted to test Earth's reaction, and now they're testing the limits. Back in deep space, aboard one of the alien warships, a tall figure stood at the command table. His name was Supreme Admiral Korek. His skin was gray and cold. His eyes were sharp like glass. The humans used something unnatural, Korek said. One of his officers replied, We lost contact with 6 ships in 5 seconds. No warning. No explosion trail. Then they used precision strikes. Korek growled. Impossible for a young species. Impossible. Unless they've been hiding something. What do we do now? Korek looked at the stars. We move closer. We force their hand. If they show us that power again, we'll learn what it is. The ship changed direction. Straight toward Earth. Back on Earth, Rhodes was watching. They're coming, a voice said. I know, Rhodes replied. Do we stop them now? No. The room went silent. Rhodes leaned forward. Let them get close. Let them think they're safe, and then we open the vault. A screen flickered. A hidden section of Earth's defense program lit up. Project name, Observer's Eye. Voss stepped back, surprised. You're actually going to use it? Rhodes nodded. If they want to play chess with lives, we'll show them what the board really looks like. The Observer's Eye wasn't a weapon. It was a program. A machine that could see what no one else could. Lies, traps, hidden messages, energy changes, and even thought patterns from brainwave scans. It could track not just ships, but motives. Pull. Their fleet's command center, Rhodes ordered. A red cube appeared on the map. There, said an officer. Flagship. High signal density. Multiple command layers. That's Korek's ship. Rhodes smiled faintly. Found you. In the alien fleet, Korek stood proudly. They're quiet again. That means they're scared. Suddenly, one of his officers screamed, Emergency! Fire on Deck 3. Another shouted, Our backup systems just went blind. And then, the main view screen shut off. A human voice came through the speakers. A voice that was not loud, but clear. You came looking for Earth's weakness, the voice said. Instead, you found our eyes. Korek froze. How are they speaking on our secure channel? The voice continued, You can run, you can hide, but we'll see you. We'll always see you. Then the line went dead. Panic spread like fire. On Earth, Rhodes stood with his arms crossed. Send no fleet, he said. No fleet, sir? The officer repeated. Rhodes smiled. They'll turn back on their own. Dr. Vos stared at him. You just scared a war fleet with words. No, Rhodes said. We scared them with silence, with math, with the truth. Outside, Earth remained peaceful. But in the shadows of deep space, every eye now watched Earth with fear. The planet that once begged for a seat at the table now owned the whole table, and no one even knew how. The alien fleet was still moving toward Earth. It was slow, steady, and full of confidence. The ships were massive, built for war, coated in dark steel, and glowing with power. Each one carried weapons that could wipe out a city in seconds. Admiral Korek stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring out at the stars. His hands were behind his back, and his sharp eyes narrowed. They fear us now, he said. But they will kneel once they see how weak they truly are. A junior officer stepped forward. Sir, we've detected no defense systems near Earth's outer zone. No ships, no stations, no sign of movement. Korek smiled. Good. They've accepted defeat. Or they're hoping for mercy. He turned to his crew. There will be no mercy. Thousands of kilometers away, hidden in the shadow of a cold moon, something watched. It was not a ship. It had no windows, no engines. No crew. It was a weapon. Its name was Silent Fang 2, and it was awake. Inside Earth's Command Core 9. Commander Rhodes stood still, watching the data feed. The screen showed every alien ship, their direction, their speed, even their fuel levels. "Are we in range?" he asked. "Yes, sir," said the technician. "Target lock confirmed." "Silent Fang 2 is ready." "Which one is Corex?" "Ship," Rhodes asked. "The largest, center formation." "Deep shielded," Rhodes nodded. "Can we break through?" The technician didn't answer. Instead, she smiled faintly. "This is Silent Fang, sir. It doesn't miss." Dr. Vos stepped into the room, holding a thin black tablet. "Do it now, before they get too close." Rhodes didn't move. "No," Vos blinked. "Why not?" Rhodes stared at the map. "They expect an attack on their ships. That's what every species does. Hit the engines, hit the weapons, hit the shields." He stepped closer to the screen and pointed to a red dot deep inside the enemy flagship. "I want this shot to speak, not just destroy. I want them to understand what just happened." "What do you mean?" "Don't destroy the ship," Rhodes said calmly. "Destroy the chair he's sitting in." Vos said nothing. The room went silent. Finally, the technician whispered, "Target updated. Admiral Korak's position locked." Rhodes lowered his voice. "Take the shot." Far away, in the dark silence of space, Silent Fang fired. There was no light, no noise, just a pulse of perfect energy, shaped like a thread, thinner than a human hair, faster than any missile, smarter than any mind. It didn't fly. It arrived. Inside the alien flagship, Korak stood proudly, ready to give the next order. He opened his mouth and vanished. There was no explosion, no scream, just empty air where Korak had stood 1 second ago. His officers stared in shock. One of them stepped forward, shaking. "Admiral?" The command chair was gone. Only the floor remained, clean, unharmed. The crew froze. The lights flickered. A sharp tone rang through the ship's speakers, a tone they didn't recognize, and then a voice spoke. It was human. "We could have taken the ship," it said. "We didn't. We could have erased your fleet. We didn't." There was a pause. Then the voice said softly, "But we never miss." The message ended. On every alien ship, fear spread like wildfire. The captains shouted orders, but no one knew what to do. Their leader was dead, not injured, not captured, just erased. On Earth, Rhodes watched the chaos unfold. Dr. Vos sat down slowly. "That was impossible." Rhodes shook his head. "No, that was math." He turned to the tech. "Monitor their reaction. Are they backing off?" "Yes, sir." "Immediate retreat. They're dropping formation. Some are even shutting down their engines." Rhodes nodded. "Good. Send a message." Vos raised an eyebrow. "To who?" "To everyone." A moment later, a simple message echoed across space. It reached not just the enemy fleet, but every listening station in the galaxy. "Earth does not seek war, but if you target our people, we will see you, we will find you, and we will end you precisely." There were no more attacks that day. On the surface of Earth, people still walked freely. Children still played. The world went on as usual. But far above them, in the silence between stars, the galaxy had changed. No longer was Earth seen as a small, weak world. It was now known for something else: perfect power, and in every dark room of every alien council, leaders whispered the same question. If that was just one shot, what happens if Earth fires again? The alien fleet drifted in silence. What was once a proud force of warships had now become a scattered group of frightened vessels. No one spoke. No one moved. The chair where Supreme Admiral Korak once sat was empty, completely gone, erased. By something no one had seen, no one had stopped, and no one could understand. In the control room of a smaller ship, Commander Tren paced back and forth. His hands were shaking. His eyes kept going to the center screen, where Earth floated quietly in the distance. "We need answers," he growled. An officer spoke up. "We scanned everything. We found no ships, no energy spikes, no missiles. Nothing touched the Admiral." "Something did," Trent snapped. "And I want to know what." Behind him, a science officer whispered, "Maybe it was precision." Trent turned slowly. "Precision?" The science officer nodded. "Not power. Not force. Just accuracy. We've always used big weapons. Earth used something else." Back on Earth, inside the deep walls of Command Core 9, Commander Rhodes stood before a glowing screen. On the display was a clean schematic of Earth's most advanced creation. Silent Fang. Dr. Voss stood beside him, arms crossed, eyes locked on the data. "People think it's just a weapon," Voss said quietly. Rhodes didn't speak. "They think it's some kind of death ray," Voss continued. "But that's not true, is it?" Rhodes finally answered. "No, it's more than that. It's intelligence, strategy. It's exact." He stepped closer to the screen. It showed a diagram of a strike path. The energy beam curved, slowed, paused, and then moved again, almost like it was alive. "Silent Fang doesn't just destroy," Rhodes explained. "It watches. It waits. It thinks. And it learns," Voss added. Rhodes nodded. "With every shot, it gets smarter." Another officer joined them. Her name was Lieutenant Carradine. She carried a file in her hands. "Sir," she said, "we've decoded messages from 3 alien factions. They're terrified. They're calling Silent Fang a ghost weapon. Some are planning full retreats." "Let them," Rhodes said. Dean hesitated. "One message said something strange. What was it?" "They believe Earth has become something else. Something more than human. They're calling us the eye that ends." Rhodes smiled, just a little. "They're not entirely wrong." Far above, on a private moon owned by Earth Intelligence, a different team was hard at work. Inside a large underground lab, machines buzzed quietly. A group of engineers stood around a silver table. On it sat a small metal orb, smooth, silent, and cold. This was the brain of Silent Fang. Dr. Mira Yelani, the lead engineer, leaned over it. Her fingers danced across a console beside it. "You see this chip?" she said. "It doesn't just store coordinates. It thinks in movement, momentum, and intent." Her assistant blinked. "Intent?" Mira nodded. "It reads patterns of behavior. It studies how people move, how they act. It doesn't just guess where you'll be. It knows why you'll be there." "Is it alive?" "No," Mira said. "But it might be something scarier. It's right." Back in the alien fleet, Commander Tren had called for an emergency meeting. 10 warship leaders appeared on his screen, each with a worried expression. "We can't face Earth like this," said one. "They destroyed our commander without touching our ship." "Even worse," said another. "They didn't destroy anything else. No waste, no warning. That kind of precision isn't war, it's control." Tren slammed a fist into the table. "We're warriors. We don't run." "No," someone replied, "but even warriors need to know when they're outmatched." The room went quiet. Finally, one voice spoke, old and cold. "Earth doesn't need a fleet," it said. "They have something cleaner. They built the perfect arrow, one that never misses." Inside Command Core 9, Rhodes was watching them. He saw their faces. He saw their panic. "Send them a package," he ordered. Lieutenant Dean frowned. "A threat?" "No," Rhodes said. "A gift." Soon, a small message arrived aboard every alien ship. No sound, just a file. Inside it was a simulation. It showed an alien warship, their own design, moving at top speed, using full shields. Then came the beam, not from in front, not from behind. From above. Curved, laid, and timed. It struck the pilot's seat, the targeting system, the life support. In perfect order, the message ended with two simple words: this happens. The meaning was clear. Not could happen, not might happen, this happens. Every time. Without fail, Commander Tren stared at the file. His mouth went dry. This is no longer about war, he said. This is a warning. Back in the Earth lab, Mira looked at the orb again. We taught it precision, she whispered. But I wondered. Did it teach us fear? In the command center, Rhodes stared at the stars. Prepare the next generation, he said. Of Silent Fang? Dean asked. Rhodes shook his head. Of people, he said. Because we just showed the galaxy that we can strike without being seen. Now. They'll try to become like us. We must stay ahead. And deep in the quiet of space, in the far corners of the galaxy, whispers grew louder. They spoke of Earth, of its silence, of its vision, and of a weapon that didn't roar, but whispered your name and then erased you. Many years before Earth became feared, it was ignored. Back then, humans were called the noise species. Too emotional, too disorganized. The Galactic Council let Earth join as a junior member, only to laugh behind closed doors. Humans spoke. Loudly at meetings, they made bold ideas. They offered peace, trade, and partnership, and they were rejected again and again. You are young, the elders told them. You must listen, not lead. At first, Earth tried to earn respect. They shared medicine, sent engineers to help weaker worlds, even offered free energy tech. Still, they were mocked. They build fast. One alien ambassador said, but not well. They dream, said another, but do not understand power. But Earth did understand one thing: silence. When the Council denied their final proposal, Earth quietly withdrew. No speeches, no anger. They simply stopped attending. No one noticed. For 20 years. Earth vanished from politics. The Council assumed they had given up. In truth, Earth was evolving, deep underground. Away from cameras and spies, Earth began a project. It was called Ghost Protocol. Only a few knew about it. Rhodes was one of them. He had been much younger then, just a soldier, sitting in a cold room, listening to the plan for the first time. The galaxy thinks we are weak, the speaker said. We will not argue. We will not fight. We will disappear. Someone had asked. And then? We will return, the speaker replied. But not as soldiers. As something more. In the years that followed, Earth shut down its loud weapons. Its war fleets were hidden or scrapped. Instead, it built observation zones, where space was mapped to the smallest detail. They created predictive algorithms, which could guess enemy moves days before they happened. They trained AI to read voice stress, eye movement, and ship energy patterns, turning every whisper into data. But most of all, Earth trained minds. They chose young children, brilliant and calm, to be raised. Inside what they called ghost labs, they weren't taught war. They were taught patience, pattern logic, and emotional silence. Mira Yelani had been one of them, now a top engineer. She stood inside Lab Zero, where it all began. She ran her fingers across a dusty wall covered in names, children who had trained. There, many were scientists now. Some were in intelligence. A few were never seen again. A soft voice behind her said, "Remember this place?" She turned. Commander Rhodes stood in the doorway. "I never forgot it," she replied. He walked in. Slowly, the room was still filled with quiet machines and blinking lights. "This is where Earth changed," she said. "Not in the skies, here, in the silence," Rhodes nodded. "We stopped trying to win with size. We started winning with thought." He tapped a control panel. A screen lit up, showing a timeline. It began with Earth's exile. It moved through stages: withdrawal, observation, planning, testing. And then silence. 10 full years with no sound from Earth, no messages, no ships, no signals, And while the galaxy slept, Rhodes said, we became something else. Back then, Mira had worked with Vos to develop what they called behavioral strike. Theory data didn't focus on how to hit the enemy, but when to hit them. Some strikes took weeks to plan. Others were prepared for years and never used. One mission, they recalled, required 10 years of listening. And only 1 second of action. That second changed an entire war between two alien factions, both of whom never knew humans were involved. Mira looked at Rhodes. Do you think it was the right path? He paused. We stopped being loud. We stopped being proud. But we never stopped being human. We just refined it. Now across the galaxy, old enemies searched for answers. A secret report reached one alien council. The message was simple. Earth disappeared, then returned, as something we don't understand. Another message came from a nervous scout. They don't use armies. They use questions. They already know your answer before you speak. At first, the council thought it was fear talking, until ships began vanishing, until leaders began dying. Mid-speech. Until Earth sent no armies, no ships. Just a warning. We see everything. We choose silence, but we remember. In a hidden command room, Vos met Mira and Rhodes. He placed an old object on the table, a piece of metal with Earth's old flag on it. Remember this? He asked. Rhodes nodded. Before the silence. We're trying to be part of their world, Vos said. Now we've built one of our own. Mira leaned in. The question is, do we share it, or do we keep hiding? Rhodes stared at the flag. We've evolved, he said. But we didn't do it for power. We did it so that no one would ever harm us again. He looked at both of them. And if they do, we won't shout, we won't threaten, we'll simply correct them. And in the darkness between stars, truth had become clear. Earth was no longer loud. Earth was no longer ignored. Earth had changed, and now the galaxy would have to change too. The room was cold and dark. The walls were made of black metal that seemed to swallow light. Around a large round table sat the leaders of the Alien Council, proud warriors, politicians, and generals. Their faces were grim, their eyes full of worry. Supreme Admiral Karak's death had sent shockwaves through the galaxy. No one expected a human weapon to be so precise, so silent. This cannot stand, hissed Varkal, a burly warlord from the Zrek system. They killed our commander without a fight. A thin, sharp-eyed woman named Clara shook her head. It wasn't just a kill. It was a message. Earth has changed. Another leader slammed her fist on the table. We sent fleets to intimidate them. Instead, we lost 6 ships in seconds. How do we fight something that erases us before we even see it? Korek's death was more than a loss. It was proof that Earth's power was beyond anything they understood. Are we certain it was Earth's doing? Asked a younger diplomat, nervously twisting a ring on his finger. We intercepted their message, said Clara. It was clear. They do not seek war, yet they will respond with deadly precision if provoked. The room fell silent. The weight of the situation pressed on every leader. One of the generals spoke softly. We underestimated them. We thought they were weak. We thought their silence meant submission. Silence can be the loudest scream, Tara replied. Varkal growled. What are options? Retreat and lose face? Or attack and lose ships? Another leader, a quiet thinker named Zan, leaned forward. We must understand their weapon. The Silent Fang, it's not just a tool. It's a new kind of war. We cannot match it with brute force, said Zan. We need to be smarter. The council debated late into the cycle. Some urged caution, fearing a total war that would end them all. Others demanded retaliation, to show that aliens could not be pushed. Clara stood, her voice firm. We must try diplomacy, but with strength. We send envoys with a clear warning. No more attacks on our civilians. Do you believe they will listen? Varkal sneered. They will listen because they have no choice, she said. Just then, a messenger burst in. Council. Our spies report Earth is mobilizing new technology. They call it Observer's Eye. The room gasped. What is this? Observer's Eye? Demanded Varkle. It's said to be a program that sees beyond sensors, replied the messenger. It can detect deception, traps, even thoughts. Korak's second-in-command slammed his fist. Then we are naked. Before them. Clara took a deep breath. We face a new enemy. One who fights with silence and shadows. We must be careful. The council decided to send envoys, but prepare for war. No one trusted the silence anymore. And as the alien ships turned back, the galaxy watched. Earth had not just survived. Earth had become a shadow, unseen, unstoppable, and unforgettable. The vast command room hummed quietly, filled with the soft glow of dozens of holographic screens. Commander Rhodes stood at the center, eyes locked on the largest display showing the vast reaches of space. The alien fleets had retreated, but the tension in the room was thick. No one relaxed. Rhodes turned to Lieutenant Carradine. Prepare the final message. It's time we make our position clear. Dean nodded, her fingers flying across the console. Sir, the message will reach every listening station in the galaxy. It's bold. Good, Rhodes replied. Let them hear the truth. Elsewhere, aboard a damaged alien warship, Commander Tren stared at the incoming signal. His crew gathered around, worry etched on every face. The message appeared, simple words on a silent screen. We do not seek war, but we will defend our own with precision. No enemy can escape. Attack us again, and you will find yourself erased before your first shot fires. This is your final warning. Tren's hands clenched. They speak like gods. One of his officers whispered, more like ghosts. How do you fight what you can't see? Back on Earth, Rhodes watched the countdown timer. Send it. The message was released, traveling faster than any ship, reaching out to every corner of known space. The Alien Council received it. Leaders whispered, fear growing in their voices. Via RKUL growled, Earth commands us from the shadows. They don't fight with armies. They fight with silence and death. Clara's eyes shone with fierce determination. We underestimated them. No more mistakes. Rhodes stood tall. This is the power of perfect defense, not to threaten with noise, but to end threats before they begin. Outside the command center, children played, oblivious to the tension beyond the stars. Rhodes smiled faintly. Earth's future isn't war, it's survival through wisdom. The galaxy had heard Earth's final message. Now no one would dare test its silence again. The stars shone quietly above Earth, their light traveling across endless space. But below, something had changed. A new power rose from a world once ignored, a power not shown with loud battles or flashing weapons, but with calm strength and sharp precision. Inside the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, representatives from many worlds gathered. This time, the room was filled with respect, not mockery. The alien leaders who once laughed at Earth now sat quietly, waiting to speak. Commander Rhodes entered the hall, steady and confident. He was no longer just a soldier. He carried the weight of Earth's silent victory. A tall diplomat from the Veltrex system stood first. Earth, your message has been heard, she said. Your power is unlike anything we have faced. We ask for peace and for your place among us. Rhodes nodded slowly. Peace is our goal. But peace comes with understanding. We do not fear war because we have learned to see beyond it. The council's elder spoke next, his voice calm but firm. Earth has shown that strength can be quiet, and justice can be swift. We recognize your right to stand as equals. Mira Yelani watched from behind the scenes, remembering the long years of silence and training. She smiled softly. We did not seek glory, we sought survival. A young alien child beside her asked, Why didn't Earth fight like the others? Rhodes answered, because we learned that fighting is not just about force. It is about knowing when to act and when to watch. Outside, ships from many worlds formed a new alliance. Earth's neighbors no longer whispered fears, but spoke with hope. They wanted to learn from Earth's wisdom. Back on Earth's surface, children played under blue skies. The planet was peaceful, protected by a power unseen but deeply felt. Rhodes stood on a balcony, looking at the stars. He spoke quietly to himself. We are no longer just a planet. We are a guardian. Mira joined him. What comes next? Rhodes smiled. We keep watching. We keep learning. And we protect with silence, precision, and heart. The galaxy had changed forever. Earth's story was no longer one of weakness. It was a story of respect, power, and a future watched over by eyes that never blink.